Hi, I'm Doug here at Global West. And what I've got on the table here is actually a coilover system for Mustangs. This happens to be 67 through 70. And there's a lot of similarities between this and also the 71 through 73. The 64 through 66 Mustang is quite a bit different. So we have some videos on that, but we have some new things that we're doing with that. So we'll be doing another video on 64 through 66 with the new style product that we have coming out for it. So let's get into this one. 67 through 70. This particular package has Viking shocks, which are double adjustable. And they are shipped, as you see, just like this. These are the coilover extensions for the springs. This is something new that we've been doing in all these kits for the Mustangs. There's a video on why we do this, so you may want to check that out. But these are assembled, ready to go. You get strut rods. They're adjustable strut rods here for your caster settings. The tubular lower control arms here. And then there's mounts that go to the lower control arm. They look like this, which is for the base of the shock, like so. And then you'll also get the shock mounts on top. These are made out of billet aluminum. They bolt in from underneath. You get a template. I'll show you this template. This is your drill template that goes to the top. And all you're literally doing is underneath the carriage bolts that are holding your shock mount at the top. Underneath there's a little plate that keeps the carriage bolt from falling down. Basically, this matches the carriage bolt positions. And all you're going to do is take a 3/8 drill when you position this on top and go through that plate, because when you bolt the mount on, this comes up from underneath. It simulates the same location. And you're just going to bolt it in. Pretty clean setup. You get the tubular upper control arms here. These are a negative roll system, which changes the geometry curve from a positive camber gain to a negative camber gain. This is what you want to use for handling, autocross, road race. This design that we've had, we developed back in the 80s and is tried and true about your camber curves. It is a fast way around the track because of the negative camber gain system. And we can go into that. In fact, there's a couple of videos talking about negative roll that we've produced and explains exactly what that term is and how we reference negative roll and what it's doing with the chassis and the suspension. Very nice kit. Now this can be used on the street, it could be autocrossed, it could be road raced. It is not a drag race kit. The geometry curve is not designed for that. It is strictly a handling package. Also, you get, of course, spanner wrenches. Now this kit here also comes with the bump stops for the upper control arm. Casters built into the upper arms. You have 3 degrees automatically built in, where the factory Ford setup, there was 0 caster built in those arms. You could take the right and put it on the left, left on the right, it won't make any difference. These here are directional. You have a passenger side and a driver's side because we added caster to it. The Mustang needs caster. Now 67 through 70 had the adjustable strut rod from the factory, which allowed you to get caster. You still have it with these. But here's the cool thing about the upper arms. When you try to get a lot of caster and you're running a big tire on the front of these cars, you know, if you're handling and autocross or whatever, as you move the strut rod forward, what happens is the larger tire and rim package that you have on there, the tire can come over and hit the front of the fender on the back, and it limits you on how much caster you can have. And on a Mustang, caster is really your friend. You need to get it cranked up if you can. When you put the caster into the upper control arms like we've done, it now has caster automatically, so it kicks the top ball joint back to give you caster, which is not moving the lower forward now, which is what the strut rod does. So now I can give you 3 degrees of caster, because that's what we built into it, and you can use the strut rod to pull a little bit more, and so you can do a really nice caster setup for corner entry, handling straight line stability, that's what it's all about, and not have that big tire hit that fender. So there's a couple positives by doing that. Our M&R system that we make that's non-coilover also has 3 degrees of caster in it, and you still have the same benefits with that. But with this coilover setup here, and we'll get into that, is you have adjustable ride height, We have a different motion ratio built in. You have any number of spring rates that you'd like to use or you need for your application is available. These here are the bump stops for the upper control arm. Now on the frame in your car there, in the unibody, on the wheel side, there's a support plate that goes in there with the bump stop on it. Well, we build a tubular one. Now, the reason why we do that is now that I've put caster into the upper control arms, which means the ball joint has moved back in the chassis, so does the bump stop. It's got to move back so it lines up with the ball joint, otherwise I'm going to be offset. So that's what these do. And because you can lower the vehicle with this, the mount is also higher up, so I have my travel back. So this package here, this happens to be a TS72T, is part of this particular kit. We also give you a template, which is right here. And this template is the relocation for the upper control arms. Now Shelby used to do this. A lot of Mustang guys don't have the Shelby mod. The Shelby mod was a 1-inch drop. We don't do a 1-inch drop. We do something a little bit different. We need our roll center at a different position, and that's why we're doing it. And this is also part of our equation that we need for generate negative camber gain under load. That's why we call it negative roll systems. All of this is available for 67 through 70 under one part number. You can get it, spring rates, by the way, also are available in different rates. So these happen to be for the street, so we're running a 300-pound spring. There's 350s, 400s, 450s, whatever spring rate in the coilover you want to do, we can do. Also, lockout plates. These are LOC2s, which is standard. On these particular cars, you have an eccentric that controls the camber on the lower control arm. You'll see it's an offset cam. And what it does is it allows the lower control arm to move in and out, which sets your camber. The problem is in hard cornering applications and some of the roads that we have where there's severe bumps, that cam can shift and you lose all your alignment. Camber, caster, toe, all go away right away. We can't have that. So by building these lockout plates that we have with the different specific holes, that'll never happen. So once you align the vehicle, it's going to stay. Okay, this particular kit is a CO MNR, because MNR is for negative roll, 6770 TV. And the TV, the T stands for these. You could order it with just a V, which would mean the Viking shocks, but because it's a T, it's also got the tower supports as well. This is the better way to go. If you have any questions, by all means, give us a call. We got a lot of data on this, so we can answer anything you need there. And we're going to assemble this on a 67 Mustang here. In fact, we're going to do it today. So why don't you join us and watch that setup. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to tell you. This same kit is available with QA1 shocks. We'll flash that part number up on the screen, and let's go set this up on that 67.